Hi everybody, it's me Lindsay again with EquipMeOT here today to talk about another slide board transfer. And today we're going to be going over the car transfer. This is one of those really challenging transfers, but a lot of people have to do it, especially if they're coming home from the hospital or home from inpatient rehab. This is the transfer you're going to need to do to get yourself home. So it's really important that you see how it works and that you know what supplies you need and maybe how to set it up so that you can do it successfully. Now, typically with this type of transfer, you're going to practice it with your therapist team or therapy team before you go ahead and do it with family or caregivers, so you will have some time to prepare for how to do this on your own. So just so you see what kind of supplies I have, I'm going to be using a longer slide board than I have in my other videos. You're going to want at least 24, 36, and maybe even longer depending on the height of the vehicle you're going to be transferring into. I selected this Equinox because it's a pretty typical size and height for a lot of vehicles that people are driving these days. This is considered a crossover, a little smaller than an SUV, but it has a similar height as far as the seat is concerned to like a minivan or some smaller SUVs. If you're going to be attempting to transfer into a really high truck or an SUV that's lifted off the ground quite a bit higher, this transfer might not actually work for you. But if you've got something like this, or even a sedan, which is by far the easiest type of car to transfer into, this will work great. So you want that transfer, again, to be as level as possible when you're relying on a slide board for it. Typically, this is going to be a transfer that people who are going to be non-weight bearing on both legs for a period of time would need to complete, or somebody who maybe isn't able to bear weight because of weakness, balance issues, safety concerns, spinal cord injury, any type of neurological condition that requires somebody to use the slide board to replace the stepping in or pivoting into the car without. So I'm going to suggest that if you're going to complete this type of transfer, that you do it next to a curb. Now, I have a video here that I want to show of how to set it up with a slide board transfer off of a wheelchair into the car from the curb height. Standard curb height is going to be 6 inches. My garage here has a 6-inch height difference for the walkway, so I was able to demonstrate how much easier this is as far as keeping the slide board and the wheelchair height fairly level. So as you can see with this transfer, I was able to slide into and out of the car pretty easily because the height was equalized much better than it would be if I was slide boarding directly from my wheelchair on the ground. So back here, we're in this garage, we are on the floor. The height difference is significant. We're talking about a 10-inch difference between the seat cushion and the height of my chair. Now, most cars have a little bit of a lip on their seat, and that even will add a little bit of extra height. So be prepared. This is a very much uphill transfer, requires quite a lot of upper body strength. So if you're somebody who has very weak upper body or even is non-weight bearing on one part of their upper body, this transfer again might not be the easiest to complete. So let me show you how you would set up this particular type of transfer. First things first, I've got my slide board. I'm actually going to set this on the seat here so it's out of my way while I get my wheelchair set up. Just as I do with all of my slide board transfers, I'm going to get the footrests completely out of the way, okay? I'm actually going to take them right off because I want to be able to get as close to the car as possible, and these footrests will definitely interfere with that. So we flip those off, set them aside. We're going to unlock our brakes, and again, we're going to attempt to approach the car at a 45-degree angle. You might be a little bit less than 45 degrees because of your door position. Every door opens a little bit farther or a little less depending on the make and model of the vehicle. All right, so with my car, I'm going to approach it here. I want to make sure that my seat is about lined up with my backside. So I'm going to get a little closer here, and then I'm going to lock my brakes. This is really important. Always lock the brakes before you attempt any transfer for safety. I'm going to move the armrest out of the way, the armrest to the side I'm transferring. You're going to want to leave the armrest here so that you have something to push up from. All right, little side note. My car has a handle on it right here that flips down. This handle is essential for me to be able to do this uphill transfer. If your car does not have a handle there, then you may need additional help or come up with another strategy to reach across because you're going to have to pull yourself a little bit to get up into the car. So I've got my slide board here. Again, it's got the wedge portion on this end. That's what's going to go under my backside. So we're going to apply that underneath our hip. And then the rest of the slide board is going to go up onto the seat here. So I'm actually using the back of the seat to keep it from sliding around. That's its most stable position for me. Now, as you can see, this is a tough spot. A caregiver would not have an easy time standing here. So the caregiver might have to be inside the car providing assistance from that angle. It's a very difficult transfer. This requires a lot of arm strength. So here I go. I'm going to go uphill and into my car. So I'm going to push off from here. I'm going to begin my slide. Here's where I grab up here because I find that upper help is a lot easier to get me up this hill. I'm sliding. I'm going to bring one leg in and I'm going to keep pushing up the slide board until I can get the second leg in and remove the slide board out from underneath myself. At this point, I'd position myself for comfort and I'd be into the car. Now, when you go to get out, it's going to be easier because it's downhill. So there's not nearly as much upper arm strength required, but be aware, going downhill on a slide board can get a little bit quick. So you may want to make sure you're really taking it slow and easy. Don't just go sliding down it like you're riding a ride, okay? So we're gonna go nice and easy. Coming out of the car, I turn my board around. I'm going to lean away, slide it under my hip. Now you can see, because of the height difference, the slide board's gonna be up in the air for a second. That's okay, because when I come down, I know that it's gonna be on the seat, okay? So now we're going to slide one leg out and we're going to go slowly down, but you can see gravity's helping me on the way back. And then I'm going to bring my other leg down, positioned onto the wheelchair, remove the slide board, and I'm on my way. So as you can see, a challenging transfer, but very doable if you have good upper body strength. And as I said before, I would highly recommend trying this on a curb height to add a little elevation. Another option is if you don't have a curb available, or perhaps at your home you don't have an elevated step in your garage, you could build a platform box that would raise you up the 6 to 8 inches that you may need, putting a small ramp or bumping the wheelchair up onto the box to allow you to be at a more even height when you transfer in and out of your car. So there's a couple of options to make the slide board transfer in and out of your car easier for you. Hopefully you'll have great success with it. Give me a thumbs up if you got some value out of this video. And as always, if you want more information on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to EquipMeOT. Thank you.